These wigs getting split. Man better breeze and sprint. It's long if I choose to bite down on these pricks. X is a lyrical 4-4 and
Alright,
it's
guys,
make
we're
sure
live.
X that you wanna rally with. Oh, make a big man turn to a kid. Shout out Skull when I flat out wigs. Never seeing X's with your eyes closed. Don't need boss girls behind your eyelid. Bars and flows, check out their mixture. Told them man
Just
got
gonna wait for everybody to
It's all
join in.
funny games to the person saying it's all funny games. Get beat up and cocked out the picture. Must be yacked if you think you can wig me. I'll tell my man put down the liquor.
All right, guys, welcome to Rising Results. We're going to be discussing a few things. If you are joining me, do me a favor, hit the chat. Go to the chat right now and let me know where you're joining in from. Now, let me know if you're joining in, where you're joining in from, if you have a business, or if you are, because today's topic, we're going to be talking about a way in which you can make some money for your business, right? So we're going to be talking about a few things here. We got a fire presentation for you guys. So let me make sure that you guys go ahead and get strapped, get seated, actually stand up and get ready, and we're gonna go. And just disregard my my board that's in the background here really quickly. So hey guys, I got a fire topic for you. I'm excited, but before we're going to get started, let's get that music back up again, because for some reason I'm pumped up. I want to go ahead and let's get it. Okay, hold on. Now let's try another one here. Oh, this is good. This is good because let's get the energy. Let's get the vibes, guys. Let's get the vibes. Let me know where everyone's coming in here. Everyone's joining. Okay. All right. Okay. That's enough. I felt like you were right there. That's like the 300 Spartans marching songs right there. All right, guys. So excited here. I got a few people here from Virginia. We've got I'm looking at the chat here. Let me see if I can pull it up on screen here. We got Virgil from Virginia. Awesome, guys. So make sure, guys, to put in where you are watching from if you want to. If not, that's perfectly fine. But we're going to be talking about some cool things here today, guys. I'm going to be telling you guys how you can get your, because I'm assuming if you're watching this business, if you're watching this, you might already have a business, or you might be in a position in which you are basically trying to start and grow your business. Love the suit. Thank you. I'm trying to keep it, what you call it, nice and fresh. We're trying to basically keep it nice and fresh. Come up with new suits. By the way, I think I'm going to do maybe a podcast with my tailor, because I think, and also, guys, just a heads up, the connection. This is also kind of my internet connection. It's not really the best right now. It's a Monday. Let me see. There's a few things I'm going to do, guys. 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and play this real quick, because apparently my computer is also not charging as well. All right, had to just do that really quickly to make sure that my computer doesn't die on me right now as we're doing this live. Okay, guys, so we're going to talk about a few things. And today's presentation is going to be, let's go ahead and get serious, guys. We're going to be talking about how to get your first, all right, let's get this into a slideshow mode. We're talking about how to get your first customer for $0 without any advertising experience, right? Now, how many of you here would like to know how you can go ahead and get your first customer, okay? How you can go ahead and get your first customer for practically free? Who would like to know how to get your first customer for practically free? That's basically how easy the techniques and the steps I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to go ahead and make money, how to go and increase the revenue for your business. And we're actually also going to be using some case studies and some examples here in today's presentation. All right. Okay. So here's another. Let's talk about a few things. We're going to go into the presentation really quickly. But before we go into the presentation, let's talk about a few things. More than half of the U.S. population is made up of small businesses. Okay, so more than 50% of the population is made up of small businesses. And what's interesting is the average business owner in the U.S. makes roughly about $68,000, 68,900 or something. So roughly, let's round it up to about $69,000. Now, why is that stat important to you? Why is that number of importance to you? The reason why that number is of importance to you is because most people believe in the dream, all right, which we call it the American dream, where you can come here and you can create the life for yourself, the vision for you and your family, right? But what's most important is most people are hindered by a few things. You're hindered by the fact that you might have a great product. Your product might be the best, phenomenal product that's out there. But if you're unable to get people to give you money, because that's what it is, that's what basically business is I provide you a service, whatever service I provide you, and in turn providing that service to you, you exchange that service for money. Okay, that's basically the key factor here in business. So where it starts to get interesting, here's where it starts to get interesting. Where it starts to get interesting is a lot of people go into business, right? Let's say you and I, we're HVAC, insurance agents, whatever it is. We get into business, but what happens is now the business doesn't make any money because we don't have the ability to get people in the business. We don't have the ability to get people to basically give us money in our business. Right? Your business is translating to $0. Like what I mean is $0. That means you're basically not making any profit. And what ends up happening is 90% of businesses within 10 years are done. So that means in the next 10 years, if 10 people start your business today, 2024, January 22nd, 2024, by 2034, only about 1 out of those 10 businesses is still going to be in service. Only 1 out of 10 of those businesses is going to be in service. So you're all watching it like, oh my God, yeah, maybe that's because, they chose a poor market. Maybe that's because, something happened. Maybe the economy, whatever it is, right? There's numerous reasons. You can honestly right now go, well, maybe they just didn't pick your marketing right. Maybe they just didn't do this. Maybe they just didn't do that. Maybe they just didn't do this. Listen, there's numerous reasons why most people whose business go out of business. Is it because they're in a position in which they're going off of just surviving and surviving and surviving? Yeah, maybe not. But the reality is this: is most businesses, if we're being honest, okay, according to 2019 data, more than 60% of businesses do not advertise. I'm going to say that again one more time. More than 60% of businesses do not advertise. Now you probably listen to that. Well, maybe they're broke. Maybe they don't have the money. Maybe they're barely breaking even. Yeah, I mean, if the average income is $69,000, and if you look at inflation, you factor it in, and you probably take it home. Let's do the math, guys. Let's do the math. I want to do the math. Let's come up here, and I'm going to share my screen. All right, I'm going to share the screen really quickly before we go back into the presentation. All right, and we're going to go ahead and do the math. Actually, let's do the math here. Right, and here's the math we're going to use. Okay. We're going to use the math, okay, here's the math. So if the average business does $69,000, okay, so $69,000, okay, that's what they make, right? $69,000. And if you factor in cost of living, let's factor in your rent. Let's say your rent is $2,000 a month, okay? Groceries and any other expenses brings you up to about another $1,400 a month, okay? And you look at your car payments, insurance, all of that comes up to about another $900 a month. Okay, we're gonna do the math. Let's see. Let's add this up really quickly. So we have basically, if you factor in 2,000 plus 1,400 plus 900, you're looking at 4,300, right? That's 4,300. And then you factor in maybe another miscellaneous expenses, because you factor miscellaneous expenses such as, maybe a family member gets sick. You never know. Maybe something happens, maybe traveling. And then you factor in taxes. It's easy to run this up to, you're looking at maybe $4,500 to $5,000 a month. Okay. To roughly around $5,000 a month is what you possibly is what might be, spending. And if you multiply 5,000 by 12, you're basically in a position of you spending roughly about $60,000 a year annually, right? Now, once you factor in taxes and everything, there's barely anything left. There's barely any money at the end of once you're done paying your bills. So now, you're right when you say that most of those businesses who go out of business do not have the money to advertise. So they're relying on the current existing clients that they have, and they're relying on repeat business, which is nothing. I'm a big advocate for repeat business. I'm a big advocate for referrals. I want you to get as much referrals as possible. I want as many people out there to refer you more business to you. Listen, it'll be absolutely ridiculous if I come out and I say, if I say, it would be absolutely ridiculous if I come out and I say, hey, don't rely on referrals. How dare you rely on referrals? How dare you say, no, you should go and advertise? Absolutely no. But here's the reality: is you need to learn strategies that you can go ahead and use to go ahead and generate money for $0. So if your business is in a position where, one, you're tight on income, or two, you're probably starting out, you're like, hey, I'm not making enough money in my job. Maybe I want to do my side hustle, but my side hustle requires me to get more people to flow me money. My side hustle requires me to either advertise or market or whatever business that you might be. Here's what's interesting: is I'm going to be sharing with you some tips and tricks that you can go ahead and use in this presentation today to go ahead and grow your business. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive back into my slides. And we're going to actually get started. Okay, so we've got here, and this is how to get your first customers for $0. For $0. So first, let's define who is your ideal customer. Okay, who is your ideal customer? You'll be surprised how many people are out there that do not know what the ideal customer is. There's a lot of people that go, well, I'm in HVAC, so my ideal customer is anyone that needs any heating and air conditioning. Okay, fair. All right. You might be like, hey, I'm an insurance agent. My ideal customer is anyone who needs insurance because people die and people get sick. So we're here to help them. 100%. Listen, I'm with you. I am with you in the sense to everybody is your ideal customer. But here's what happens: is when you speak to everybody, you speak to nobody. Because here's what most people never really factor into their decision making, into everything that they do. Most people never factor in the fact as to when you're servicing, right? When you're servicing your ideal customer, when you're servicing your market, people need to hear something that resonates with them. Because if you advertise, and let's say you advertise in insurance, you advertise whatever it is, and you say, hey, parents with toddlers between the ages of 5 to 16, here is what you need to do to make sure your family is secure. Or parents of toddlers in the Wisconsin area, if you're not doing this, you're setting your kids up for failure. Or you're calling out the people in your messages, because guess what? You want to speak to people that you resonate with. So the first thing you want to identify as your ideal customers. You are your ideal customer. I'm going to tell you this. When I used to sell insurance, guys, I used to pull out my policy. Every single sale I made, I used to pull out my policy and I used to say, this is the same insurance that you're getting is the same one that I have. And this is how it works. And I tell you from the position of not as an agent, but I tell you the position of as a customer, because you have to understand your customers will help you sell more of what you have. So you come at it from a position of a customer as opposed to being from a position of of the sales agent, right? So you're coming at it, you're like, hey, boom, listen, I'm a customer. I use the same product. I do the same thing. And here's what I think is going to be suitable for you from the position of the fact that we are in the same boat. If you go to a car dealership and you're like, all right, imagine I'm a car salesman. I'm going to pretend to be the car salesman here. And then this way is car salesman speaking, and this way is the buyer. Okay? So car salesman's chilling. It's like, how can I help you today? Well, I'm looking for a car. What kind of car are you looking for? I'm looking for a car that I don't know, just whatever you got. Show me what do you have? Well, we have here, we just got this new collection. We've got this car here. We've got this one here. We've got that car, this car. Let me go show you in a drive. Yeah, let's take this car out. And then after the end of the presentation, the person goes through, and then you ask him, like, hey, would you like to buy? And he's like, no, I'm not interested in buying. Thank you. I'm going to go down the street and go talk to someone else. And then he goes on the street, and then same situation goes to another car salesperson, right? Come in and it's like, hey, how can I help you today? He's like, oh yeah, I'm looking for a car. What kind of car are you looking for? I don't know. Well, what kind of car do you drive right now? Well, I drive a sedan, and it's pretty good. It's all right, but I want to upgrade. Okay, you a family man? Yeah. How many kids? 2 kids and 1 on the way. Okay, so 2 kids and 1 on the way. So would you like to see our SUV collection? I don't think I really want to do SUVs, man. I'm not an SUV guy. That's perfectly fine. So you want someone that's going to roll in style, but you also want something in which you can pull up in a nice SUV. How about we'll put you in an SUV? You know what? I like that. Let's do that. Okay. So you want to do an SUV. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead right now. What's your kind of color? What do you drive to? Do you usually go here or there? And then, you ask all the questions. And then at the end of it all, let's say it's a Toyota dealership, right? And we're going to be selling the Highlander. And he comes to you and he goes, the person buying the car is like, so just out of curiosity, what car do you drive? And then the salesman goes, well, I drive a Lexus. And then he's like, oh, so would you buy this? Well, yeah, but so why don't you drive the same car? Why not? And I was like, you work at a Toyota dealership, but you drive a Lexus. And now the sales was going in a position in which bam, 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 bam. I mean, the salesman was crushing it, and then it came to the position where you don't even use the product that you're selling. Right? So you see where you might lose the customer. You see where it kind of goes in a position where you might be like, you might be winning somebody here, but you're not really convincing the product, so you're not using it yourself. So you got to think about it from the perspective as to imagine sales conversations going well, and then you ask you, well, you may not drive the SUV, but hey, you know what? I drive the Toyota Camry. And it's like, oh, cool, man. I love Toyotas, man. Listen, I would highly recommend this. I would get this myself. If I was a dad of 2 kids and I was expecting one on the way, I would highly get the Highlander because honestly, I'm not a minivan person. Now you start to see how the relatability comes into play. How does this transfer into your business? Now, if you're an insurance agent, right, and you're struggling, and you're seeing your ads are not converting, or you're generating a bunch of leads, but people are not buying from you, then or when people buy from you, there's something that they have in similarities to. I give you an example. So I remember this. I'm going to tell you this one sale that I knew straight off the bat, and I was not going to make the sale. I remember this. I get into the house. He was not there. So I get back in my car. I call him. I say, hey, it's Manuel here, here regarding this insurance appointment. So she's like, I'll be there in 15 minutes. Pulls up as an Army guy. We start talking. I'm like, hey, where'd you serve? So we're talking about that. And I'm like, hey, so you filled out this form going and getting insurance. He's like, well, I thought it's something I needed. I'm like, not necessarily something you need, but it's something that I would recommend you have. Who do you have? Who is your death going to be a burden for? He's like, I don't have anybody. What about family members? Nothing, man. It's just me. I was like, interesting. So what about if you get sick? I was like, I got the VA benefits. And then we went all out. Now, is there somebody else could have closed the deal? But I was like, hey, listen, man, I don't find any common ground or any problem here that I see that's similar that we can solve. Walked out. That's fine. That was still a good day for me. But walked out. Now, why am I bringing that situation out? I'm bringing that situation so you can understand one simple thing is I understood the buyer persona of people who usually would buy from me. I understood that, hey, people who bought from me are people who usually have somebody where if they pass away, that person would have to deal with the burden of them not being around. So I was like, okay, fine. This guy's not the guy, he's not in my ideal consumer profile. Now, as we sell and as we offer one of the greatest solutions I would say it's out there for any independent sales professional or business owner, where you're in a position in which you're trying to get more clients, you're trying to get more people to do business with you, but you don't have the ability to go ahead and reach out to them because you don't have the skill sets, or it's too expensive to go ahead and hire someone to do so. That's where Rising Results comes into play. That's where this software solution comes into play. So I know my ideal consumer. I know my target profile. I know that my target consumer is usually an older gentleman between the ages of 24, average of 24 to about 39. Now, it might be older. We've worked with clients over the age of 48, 50, but usually 24 to about 39, and usually at a position in which they have 2.3, that's just an average, kids. So basically, they have 2 kids. So we'll just average out 2 kids. Now, what is the ideal thing that drives them? The ideal thing that drives them is, one, they want to generate more money. They want to make more income. They're not people that believe in working a 9 to 5, but they're people who identify with a part that they have something to offer to the market. They just know that they have to learn the system. There are people who believe in consistent learning. There are people who believe that, there is more out there for them if they just basically are prepared to reach out to it. So you got to understand who your ideal customer is. And the reason why I'm able to throw those numbers are because I relate to them. Right? And it doesn't matter, man or woman. I relate to people who are ambitious and people who are driven and people who believe that, if I'm making 10, 15,000 a month right now, I want to go in a position in which I'm making 100,000 a month. It's not just a factor of how long is it going to take. So it's about understanding who your ideal customer is. Identifying who it is that you want to do business with. If you don't know who you want to do business with, no one's going to do business with you. I wish I see. Should be a fire sign. Should be like, boom, fire right there. Okay. If you don't know who you want to do business with, no one's going to do business with you. All right. So first, identify who your ideal customer is. You need somebody that's going to be excited to basically whenever it is that they see your ad or whenever it is that they see something that basically, you offer, right? Third is, what is the one problem that they have that your product or service can solve? What is the one product that they have that your product or service can solve? Now, the thing is, this is if you don't know what is the number one problem that people are trying to solve, you're going to come up with the wrong message of me, 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 me. Imagine going to a date. You're like, hey, you know what? We're going to go on a date. All right, guys? Imagine going on a date. You go on a date and you're like, meeting with this individual. If you haven't been on a date in a long time, well, hopefully you're in a relationship, married. If you're married or in a relationship, take your partner out on a date. Imagine being on a date and you're getting to know this individual. All right, you're there. And she's like, oh, hey. And you just start talking about yourself. You're like, well, today I just came back from work. Oh my God, you won't believe I had this customer. We signed this. I did this awesome webinar. Oh my God. Everyone was like, oh my God. And then you just keep going on and on, 20 minutes in, 30 minutes in, 40. And then she's like, she wants to talk. She's like, oh, wait. But you won't believe another thing. And you just keep going. And then at the end of it all, you're like, this was a great date. I loved it. This was awesome. We got to do this again. Drop her off wherever it is. You guys part your next ways. And you go to text and say, hey, how did we, they hope you had a good time. And then all of a sudden your number is blocked. And then you wonder, why is my number blocked? I thought the date was great. Yeah, the date was great for you, not for the other person. That's the same persona as when your message is not matching. You're not letting the customer be the one that you're talking about. People want to talk about them the same way you believe the date went well because you were talking. That's why you thought it went well. Not in reality, understand that if that person was talking, they would think you went well. So you got to keep about for the perspective. So you need to make it about your customer. You need to make it that it is about the customer, which means it is about the problem. You have to make your product around the customer. Because let me tell you this: if you have a hot dog stand, let's say you had a hot dog stand, right? I don't know if you guys know what a hot dog is, right? Just got a hot dog, and you go, right, and you put your hot dog stand in front of 20 restaurants, but your hot dog stand is at the end of the street, which means everybody eats before they come to your hot dog stand. How many hot dogs are you going to sell? 0. Versus you put the same hot dog stand in a full street with no restaurants around you, and everyone is coming out of their work, out of office, and when they come out, the first place they see is you. I do not take credit for this, but someone said this. He said, there was a university professor, and he asked his students, he was a marketing class. He goes, hey, so if you could have, you could have one of two things, right? And you have a hot dog stand. What would you want? Would you want basically, to have your hot dog stand in a position in which you basically have the best hot dogs, right? Your hot dogs are made fresh. You could have a surplus of hot dogs. Would you like your hot dog stand to be in a position in which you could put it in the center of the city where, you're like basically located in the heart? Which one do you think will help you sell more? And people are like, well, located in the heart of the city, all that stuff. And then the professor, I'm probably butchering this. Trust me, I am probably butchering this. But the professor goes, wrong. Actually, what you want is a starving crowd because you want hungry people because they're coming to you with a problem that you can solve. So if you're located in an area in which you're not getting that much business, it's because you don't have a starving crowd. It's because you don't have people who need the product or service that you have to offer. So ideally, what you need to do is you need to be in a position which you can be able to offer them something to solve their problem. So which means for you to be able to solve their problem, you need to know that they're hungry. Because you got to think about it, if you have a crowd that's hungry, but then you're here selling clothes and you're selling shirts, no one's going to buy. Do you understand what I mean? You guys understand what I mean? But if you're in a position in which you're basically offering a solution in which that meets the problem, boom, you're going to make sales. You're going to make sales. You are going to make sales. You are going to make sales if you are offering a solution that helps people meet their problem and solve their needs. Okay, you got to be in a position where you're able to solve their needs. Now, let's get back into the slides real quick. So we understand that the one problem you basically, what is the one problem that they have and that your product or service can solve? Okay, and then 2, you got to understand, what does your product do? Remember what I said? Your product either takes away pain. Okay, so which means they're able to move, do what you got to do, okay? Or your product basically gives them pleasure, right? Pleasure could be in a variety of things. Food is one thing that gives pleasure, right? It could be a combination of both. It could be something that basically takes away pain and gives pleasure. This is a funny meme. I just had to put that meme in there. All right? Or you could be in a position in which your product either reduces effort, okay? Basically, it makes them lazy. It makes them chill. It makes them like sit back and go, nice, this is good. I can relax. Because if you say, imagine you come up and you say, hey, listen, my product, once you buy this, you never have to work. This will help you basically, get money, generate business, get more income. All you have to do is chill, spend 2 to 3 hours a week. How often do you think people are going to sign up for that? They are going to sign up for it. They will sign up for it. Okay? They will sign up for it. So you got to think about it is your product needs to be doing either one of those three things. But the most important thing is also you got to understand your product needs to give them peace of mind, right? People don't want to buy something that's going to make them stressed, right? People are not going to buy. I'll give you a scenario. This is a scenario we're having basically a conversation with where gives them pleasure, takes away pain. So I was talking to my barber, right? And we're talking about a software solution that we're going to be, which is this right here. Talking about rising results, right? We're talking about rising results. And we're like, hey, okay. So he's like, so what do you do? I tell him, like, hey, man, we're an advertising platform that helps, independent sales professional business owners, to be able to, one, generate leads, nurture those leads in our CRM solution, nurture it and convert those leads, and then also convert them into sales. Okay. That's what we do. And he's like, oh, cool. Awesome. So what do you mean? So I was like, well, simple. If you don't know how to advertise, market your business, you can plug into our solution. And then in a matter of hours, you'll be able to get leads flowing in, provided you already have all the setups already ready to go. He goes, interesting. So he's like, how much is that? It's like $300 a month. He goes, whoa, that's expensive. That's expensive, man. I was like, fair, dude. Let me ask you a question. I'm like, how much do you make? He goes, I make $9,000 a month. How many clients do you see a week? 45. I was like, if you had a solution where you plugged in your website, everything, and software solution advertised to get you more clients, and you went from running 45 to 90 appointments a week, how much does that add to your revenue? He goes, now that takes me to 18,000 a month. So I'm going to tell you something. I said, so if you have a software that you plug in $300, takes you $18,000 a month, would you do it? He goes, he's like, dude, that's a no-brainer, man. He's like, it's a no-brainer. I'll do it 100%. So I'm like, is it really expensive? He's like, no, dude. No, when you put it like that, it's not expensive. I'm like, secondly, how much do I pay for a haircut? It's like $50 a cut. How many times do I come here? Every week and a half. So I get 3 cuts a week, 3 cuts a month. So I spend $150 a month on haircuts. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm like, I could go down the street and pay $10 for the same cut. He's like, yeah, but they're going to mess up your hair. But why do I come to you? Because you already have the ability to get me results. Now you guys are starting to see where the solution comes in. Now you're starting to see and understand what we're basically dealing with. Now you're starting to see and understand in the sense as to your product needs to be able to perform one of those 4 things. And if you don't have a product that does that, then you got to figure out where your product falls into, right? Because before you can go in and go to the market and say, you know what, I'm going to advertise and get clients for $0. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you guys here. We're almost at the position where I'm going to reveal with you guys the solution that you can be able to use to generate more clients for your business. Okay, let's go ahead and go back into that presentation really quickly. So you have to ask yourself, right? Now we're talking about, we've addressed the factors to our consumer, our customer. We've addressed the factors to what our product does for them. But we also got to ask yourself, where does my customer hang out? I was talking to a friend of mine, and the dude, this comes in date because I have a lot of friends which are pretty much in the dating scene. That's why I like to relate to this, because this is where it's very interesting. So he was complaining for about a year. He's like, man, I can't meet anybody. He's like, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough for me to find someone. He's like, it's tough out here. It's tough out here to get people to be in be in a relationship with. I was like, fair. I was like, what do you do? What do you do? Tell me about your day. He's like, well, I go to work, I come back home. Okay. How many times do you go to work? Once a week. So you spend 4 days out of the week at home? Yeah. Do you go out? No. So I'm just out here thinking and asking myself. I said, okay. So not only do you not go out, but 2, you don't go out and socialize. And 3, not only do you not go out and socialize, 3, you're also in a position in which you're like, hey, there's nobody out there for me. There's nobody out there for me to date. There's nobody out there for me to meet. There's nobody out there that's right for me. There's nobody out there. There's nobody out there. Now, let me ask you this question. Is it that there's nobody out there? Or is he not actually putting himself out there? Right? So these are solutions. So these are questions that you need to be asking yourself. Is it the fact that there's nobody out there, or are you not actually putting yourself out there? So you got to ask yourself, okay, now Let's solve the problem of putting yourself out there, right? 1 second. Let's talk about the solution of basically putting yourself out there. If you're in a position in which you're putting yourself out there, now where do you put yourself out? Where? If you're between the ages of 18 and 21 and you're looking to date, would you go to a group home? Would you go to a senior living facility and be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go hang out here because I believe the one is maybe the one for you is there. But your odds are higher if you go out and socialize with people your age. If you're in a position where you're like, hey, I want a client that's going to pay me $5,000. No disrespect, but would you go to a homeless shelter and hang out? Would you? Because if you would, I mean, if I don't know, maybe I'm pretty sure somebody out there probably have made money. I'm not speaking bad about that, but maybe you would. But what are the likelihoods and the odds that you might actually succeed in that avenue? What are the odds? Slim to none, right? So you need to position yourself exactly where your customers are. You need to position yourself exactly where your customers are. So you need to ask yourself, where do they hang out? Where do my customers hang out? Where does my customers hang out? You need to ask yourself, because if you don't ask yourself that question, you're pretty much in a position in which are you actually going to get the ideal people that you want? The answer is no. Not even in the slightest bit, not even close. Because guess what? If you don't ask yourself, where are my customers? Where do they hang out? The odds of you meeting your right customer, slim to none. Slim to none. So, not only that, so you ask yourself, where do the customers hang out? Because here's an example. I'm going to give you an example, right? The example we have here, let me make this a little bigger. Okay. So we have a landscaping company based out of San Antonio, Texas, that has 3 to 5 employees that subcontracts to, does anywhere from 70,000 to 150,000 a year, limited to a 50-mile geographic area. Previous clients have been between the ages of 34 to 48, predominantly homeowners and people who own homes. They rent out. The jobs are usually seasonal jobs. Clients prefer to talk to you on the phone, as the job is very dynamic and pricing varies. Okay, let's think about this. Where would this landscaper find his customers? Where would you find the customers if you're a landscaper? Where would you? Would you? I want you guys to think about this. Would this landscaper, would he go? Should this business advertise? Should this business advertise? I'm very curious, guys. In the chat, let me know. Give me a 1 in the chat if you think that landscaper should advertise. Give me 1s in the chat if you think that he should advertise or she should advertise. 1s in the chat. Or 2 if you don't think they should. If you don't think it should, then just give me 2. Okay, so we got a 1. One. Okay, now I'm gonna okay. Let's okay. So we got more 1s. All right. I guess 1. Okay, so since we got more 1s, let's do one more thing. Let's do one more thing, guys. Okay. Now you guys have unanimously voted that this business should advertise. Now let's see. You can comment anything in the chat. Where should this business advertise? Are we doing Facebook? Are we doing Instagram? Are we doing LinkedIn? Are we doing cold email? Are we doing where should this business advertise? Where should this business advertise? You know, what is the platform that this business should advertise? Facebook. Okay. Facebook. Facebook. Okay. Instagram. Facebook and Instagram. IG, I go for IG. Okay. So we go for IG. Okay. Instagram. Okay. So we have pretty much unanimously everyone has picked. Now, guess what? It doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter. The answer is where, because you could advertise on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Facebook. You could be on TikTok. You could advertise anywhere. Okay. You could even go and pretty much put your ad on a billboard. Right? You could put your ad on a billboard. Right? You could be, you could put that on a billboard. You could put your ads right there on the radio. You could go on radio or podcast. You could even say, hey, I'm gonna do a webinar on landscaping. People are going to sign up for that. You could do a webinar on landscaping. You could say, hey, I'm going to send cold emails to people who basically high net worth individuals who make a specific amount of money, to CEOs, and I'll just be an exclusive landscaper for CEOs. It doesn't matter. You can advertise to anybody. You can advertise your business to anywhere. But the reality is this: we need to pick one where basically our target persona, because if I say, hey, as a landscaper, I want to be an exquisite landscaper that only landscapes for the top 1%, and I charge $1,000 just to come out there. Okay. Am I going to do Facebook ads? Yeah. But am I going to get a return on it? Possibly, possibly not. I mean, there are people out there that make good money there on Facebook. Maybe I could do cold email. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe they're on Instagram. Who knows? But it's ideally, your demographic and your geographical area, and you know who your target customer is. Because I know if my target customer is between the ages of 18 to 34, I should be on Instagram. I should be on Instagram. If I'm between customers between 18 to 34, go on Instagram. If my customers are people who are basically in a position in which I want an older demographic, I'm going to go on Facebook. If I'm doing more of a business to business, I'm going to go on LinkedIn. I'm going to advertise on LinkedIn. It's just about where are your customers? Where do your customers hang out? Because if you don't know where your customers hang out, it's going to be almost impossible for you to basically advertise to them. Okay, so you got to think about it. So, but what we're going to be talking about right now is this: you figured out the fact as to who your ideal customer is. You figured out the fact as to where they hang out, what their problem is, why they should pretty much do business with you. What's your unique offer? Why should they give you money? Why? Once you've identified that, the next thing you need is you basically need the advertising platform of choice. Okay, so for this, I'm going to be showing you guys Rising Results. This is a solution that gives you the ability, if you are in that position where you can advertise your business in just a few clicks on any platform at all, any platform of your choice. You can put your ads anywhere. I'm even going to show you guys a few results. So this is one that I did. I paused this based off the fact as to I just didn't have the time to call anyone. I was just like, we just did an experiment here. So give you an example. So here's an example of an ad. I spent $87.49, got 36 clicks, and we had 14 leads coming at $6.25 a lead. This ad was all done by AI. Well, predominantly, obviously, I made the video. That was me. But the ad was written. The targeting was done by AI right there. That's a lead count right there. We got about 14 leads. Now, if out of the 14 leads, 2 of them do business with me, and I'm charging $600 maybe or $700, did I make my money back? Of course I made my money back, because it's costing me $6.25 for somebody to raise their hand. It's costing me $6.25 for me to get one person to be like, I actually want to talk to you. And that was all done and managed by artificial intelligence. AI wrote that. It was all done by AI. Now you're probably thinking, okay, well, I'm not an AI expert. Emmanuel, I'm not an AI expert. I don't know anything about AI, how to run anything with AI. We're talking about artificial intelligence. I'm not that AI person. No. But I'm going to be showing you, which is pretty simple, how this tool is easy for you to use. Easy for you to use. Okay. So let's go and dive back in. You can advertise on any platform of your choice. Remember what we spoke earlier, right? This is the generate part. Remember, Rising Results will give you the ability to generate, and then you also get the ability to nurture. So there's going to be a few more tutorials as we get a little bit more in depth. But we're going to wrap up a little early because I have a meeting to run to in the next 10 minutes. So if I was in a business where I give an example, so we had a what do you call it? This business is a business where you mobile home transportation. So it was mobile transportation. Know the guy that I personally know the guy personally. So this was not someone who was a lead. This is someone that I knew personally. Mobile home transportation came to me and said, "Hey, I want to find people who have mobile homes that are looking to move." I was like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "But I don't want to put my ads on Google." I'm like, okay, well, you can put your ads on Google. Well, put my ads on Facebook. He said he doesn't want to put your ads on Facebook. So I'm like, yeah, let's put your ads on Google. He goes, so I can pop up on Google. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, if you want to pop up on Google, you pop up on Google. He's like, how? At the time, we didn't have the solutions. So what I tell him is like, hey, we gotta set you up with a Google Ads Manager. We gotta go ahead right now and set up a Google Ads Manager. Once we set up a Google Ads Manager, not Google Ads, Google Ad account. After we set a Google Ad account, then we basically go ahead and set up everything, set up a Google Tag Manager, set a Google Tag Manager, set up all of these things. Like God, Google Analytics, all of these things. Like, oh my God, even thinking about it right now, my head is going, whoo. But I'm gonna show you how. With this AI solution, we could put his business on the map, on the Google map. Literally put your business on the Google map, on Google My Business, literally in a matter of a few clicks. And to show you how easy it is, we're going to go here and I'm going to just go on Google and I'm going to search. Let's search here, mobile home transportation. Okay, so we search mobile home transportation. So we've got mobile home transport near me. This is where he's at a problem. Mobile home movers and experts in North Carolina. So they here are not advertised, right? They're ranking very good on. They have a good SEO ranking right there. Mobile home buyers, North Carolina. So heavy haulers. Okay, so you have heavy haulers, which is not advertising. You have moving.com, which I'm pretty sure it's a referral site. So let's go ahead and copy just anyone. We're going to copy this one. Let me find one that I think. We'll copy triadmobilehomes.com. Okay, we're going to copy triadmobilehomes.com and we're going to go right now and we're going to go to Google right there. Right? We're going to generate a new ad. All right. We're going to paste that right there. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and paste it right there. We paste the link right there. All right. So we're going to paste that link and then we're going to just go ahead and click the button down here. And we have mobile home transport. Let's play some music because this is the part where it gets a little, we got to keep it a little entertaining. We got mobile home transportation. Okay. And we have Triad Mobile Homes. All right. And then next thing we're going to do is going to click generate description. And the AI is going to go ahead and generate description. And then we're going to just click generate content. Right there. Looks like it's pretty much done right there. We've gone ahead and picked up our targeting. And another thing we can do here as far as the targeting goes, if you click edit, you can add more keywords and you can come up here and choose your location that you want to target. You can search by location. If you wanted to go for, let's say we're Georgia. We want to do Georgia. And we wanted to do, let's spell it right, Atlanta, GA. Okay, and then all you do is just click out of this. And it's gone ahead and professional mobile home movers, trusted mobile home transport, efficient home transportation, expert mobile home transport. It's gone written a headline and given a number to call, and all we do is set our budget and then click create. That's it is. It's how easy it is right there. If you wanted to go in a position to say, you know what, I want to go ahead and advertise my business. That's how easy it is to go ahead and put your business out there on the map. Let me go ahead and put myself up right there. So that's pretty much how easy it is. Go ahead and pretty much put your business out there on the map. Very simple. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open it for questions. We wrap up. We're wrapping up here shortly. But I'm going to post the link right there. Go to Comment Client. You're watching this later after Comment Client. Or go right now. If you're turning on this live, go to www.risingresults.com/get started. Okay. And the link is also in the chat right now. In the chat right there. In the chat and in the banner, and I'm going to open it for questions right now. Let's open it for questions because guess what? This tool, free to get started for the next 7 days. We'll give you guys a free 7-day trial to use this access to this tool. To get your free access, pretty much just go ahead and comment. If you're watching this post live, Comment Client, or just go to www.risingresults.com/get started. Okay? All right, let's see. Let's open it for Q&A. While we do that, Q&A. Let's see.
Man, when I chat and chit, I come through like what's good, these wigs getting split. Man, better breeze and sprint. It's long if I choose to bite down on these pricks. X is a lyrical 4-4 and this, so make sure it's X that you wanna rally with. Oh, make a big man turn to a kid. Shout out skull when I flat out wigs. Never seeing X's with your eyes closed, don't move past girls behind your eyelid. Bars and flows, check out their mix.
All right, challenges to being an entrepreneur. So challenges to being an entrepreneur is very simple. The first challenge you're going to have is you're going to have times in which you're going to work and you're not going to see any effort. You're going to keep working. You're going to be in a position in which you're going to be putting in a lot of time. Because a lot of people think I'm going to go from a 9 to 5 and I'm going to be my own boss and life's going to be easier. That's actually not true. If you want a 9 to 5, if you think you're going to change from a 9 to 5 to an entrepreneur, life's going to be easier. That's the biggest lie right there. That is the biggest lie to go, oh my God, I'm gonna go from a 9 to 5 and I'm gonna just go ahead and go start my own business. No, it's gonna be tough. You're gonna have times in which you're not gonna believe in yourself, you're not gonna see the results, but you almost have to have a sense of insanity and just keep going. You gotta keep going and just believe. And what you have to do is you just gotta commit and figure out later. Commit first and pretty much figure out later. You're gonna have to commit first and figure out later. Okay, but any other questions as far as related to the solution that we have right here? Because we're wrapping up here in the next 3 minutes. Yeah. Oh yeah, there'll be some more. Get support of 70, absolutely. We help you with onboarding. Get onboarding. You'd get onboarding. You would actually get support 7 days. Yep, we'll give you onboarding to help you generate leads within the first 7 days. So which means you actually be generating leads provided you have your Facebook ad account or ad accounts for any of the platforms. You have a page. We'll help you pretty much start generating leads within a couple of hours, honestly. Any questions? What's the guarantee? What is the guarantee that within 7 days? I mean, you pretty much, it's a trial. So if in 7 days you have, provided you have your ad accounts ready, you have everything that's needed to go as far as the setup, or if you need a setup, we can set it up for you in a matter of a few hours. Pretty much our last clients from when we launched this ad within about 6 hours. Once he just plugged in everything in the platform, in about 6 hours, 7 hours, he was getting leads. Now, are you going to close the leads? That's completely up to you. That has nothing to do with me. As far as getting people to talk to, the platform can do that for you. And guess what? We also have conversational AI in there that the moment they opt in, the AI is going to send them a text message, trying to get them to book on your calendar. And that's included as well. It's free. Yeah. Let me show you. So once you, this is very, everyone has questions on support. Okay. When you go in, whenever you want to launch an ad, you want to launch an AI ad here. Let me go over here, home. So there'll be a button here that's going to pop up. It's not popping up now because I'm turning off. But there'll be a button here. As far as using the platform in general, there's a blue icon right there. With this, you can type in any question you have, and you'll be able to get answers to your question. Right, this is kind of a support article, or you can just email us at support@rsnresults.com for anything related to support. And if you are in a position, let's say you're running ads, you can type in a help article right here as well, and then multiple questions. So let's say you wanted to, how do I set up creating an ad account? If you want to create a Google ad account, there's support right here. Let me show you the AI Help Center. So this is our AI Help Center as well. Once you click on that, you can click, you need help creating an ad account, how to create a Google ad account, and then you can watch videos that we have right here.
To create a Google Ads account, go
to training and everything that you need right there. Okay. All right. Awesome, guys. So we're gonna wrap it up. As we wrap it up, let's play some. Don't forget, guys, go comment client or go to the link www.risingresults.com/getting started. Okay. Let's play some outro music right there. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks again for everyone joining on. We're gonna be jumping off. I'll see you guys next week. There's gonna be a tutorial, so make sure to subscribe to the channel.